In homework 3B, question 2, we're going to look at the determinants of bond supply. Here we have an equation for bond supply down here. And I'll go ahead and clear all this stuff over here, or I'll just scroll up. I'll just go ahead and delete all this stuff. Okay. So we paid $911 for this bond. $911. It was a 10% bond, $1,000 face value, 10 years. That was issued 3 years ago. So again, we bought this 10-year bond after 3 annual coupon payments were made. So we have 7 payments left. Okay. Cool. All right, I'll go ahead and delete that too. Okay. So at $911, the quantity supplied for this bond is what? Well, I'm going to copy this equation like I did with the bond demand. I'm going to paste it here. And then I'm going to copy it down here. I'm going to plug in the price, which is $911. Okay, and then I'm going to, down here I'm going to subtract the 11 over. Because I have the Q, the expression with Q is positive. Okay, and that leaves me with $911 minus 11 divided by 0.53. Okay, and then Q equals basically 900 divided by 0.53, which is that value. And then we round to 3 decimal places. So we're out here. 1698. Let me go ahead and draw that in here. So 1698 is out here, right? Put a big point on the supply curve. And that price is 911, so it's just right above that line there. Okay, so this is 911, and this is 1698. Okay, and this is the supply curve. This is the quantity axis. This is the price axis. Okay. If the price was $8.57 instead, I'll just go ahead and copy this. If the price had been $8.57 instead, I just got to change the price to $8.57. The quantity is 1596. So let's go ahead and change the color to, I don't know, blue. I'm going to shrink this up a little bit so it's not so thick. So now we got 857, which is right in here, right? 857 is right in here somewhere. And we see when we go down this supply curve, when we move down along the supply curve, our quantity supplied goes down as the price goes down. And it's 15.96. Okay, we'll close it out. So 1596.226. Hit enter and we got everything correct. Okay, now if the economic growth rate accelerates, I want to put my notes right over here. Set them to the side for now. If the economic growth rate accelerates, firms in general expect their profits to increase or rise. We'll type in increase and see what happens. Yep. This causes bond demand supply to increase. And why is that? Well, if firms think their profits are going to go up, then they'll perhaps want to expand their operations. And one way to expand their operations is to issue bonds, take out loans from the public or whoever wants to buy the bonds. Okay, and then our original demand curve is the black one. The new the original supply curve is the black curve, and the new supply curve is this red one. Okay, so this equation corresponds to this red line. Okay, so I'll go ahead and draw on this. Let me get my drawing tool again. Okay, originally, I'll go ahead and label it for you. We got price, quantity, 911 is the original price. Then we drop down. Okay, and this is supply at today, and then this is supply tomorrow, T being today, and then 1 year into the future, right? Or one period into the future. Period could be a month or a year. Okay, so that's supply next year. Okay, and then what happened to if we hold that price constant? When we go horizontal like this, we're holding price constant. What's the new quantity level? Well, I'm going to make all this red here. And then we'll change this back to what it was. Okay, so the old intercept was 11, right? The new intercept is minus 46. Okay. So let me just go ahead and delete that. I'll go ahead and delete this. Here we go. I'll copy this and paste it down here. Okay, so we got to add negative 40. We got to add 46 to both sides, right? So I'm going to add 46 to both sides. And this becomes plus, right? And then I'll copy this and paste it here. And so what we get is 911 plus 46 divided by 0.53 equal to Q, right? And then I'll just copy this and paste it down here with an equal sign. And our new quantity is 1806.8 1806 to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places, 1806. Okay, so let's go back over here. 1805.7. Okay. And of course, the other value was 1596. So the black dash line is 1596. Okay, so quantity supplied increased when prices held constant and supply increases. It shifts from black to red, shifts from left to right. Quantity supplied increases. Okay. I'll go ahead and close that out, and then I'll type in the number, the new quantity. Okay, for the next scenario, now we're going from time period t plus 1, today plus 1 year, to t plus 1, from t plus 1 to t plus 2. So let me go ahead and mark this up. So this is, again, time period today plus 1 year. And again, we're holding the price constant 911. Whoops, this should be supply. The supply curve of next year, today plus 1 year, right? And then we got labeled the axes. So again, this is the price. This is the quantity. We'll label 2 years from now. So this is the supply curve, not today, but in 2 periods. And then, so supply decreased. So supply decreases here. Quantity supply decreases. I'm trying to make an arrow there. Quantity supply decreases. Okay, because supply decreased. Originally, the quantity in this period, quantity supplied is 1806, right? 1806. We got to figure out the new quantity supplied is. So I'm going to go over here to my Excel. And what I'll do is I'll just recognize the fact that I just got to change the intercept, right? Okay, so the intercept is now 12, not 46. Everything else is the same. The price is being held constant at 11. The slope hasn't changed. So the new quantity is 1741.5. So this new quantity is 1741. I'll just leave it at that. Well, 0.5. Okay. So if we're given, so this new supply curve, now why did supply decrease here? If we're given interest rate or bond price, so when we're holding prices constant, when we're holding price constant 9/11, we're not changing it. We're holding interest rate constant. So I does not change either. Right? So this is constant and the price is constant, right? We're not changing those. We're holding them constant. When expected inflation decreases, so when we expect inflation decrease, the real cost of borrowing, what happens to the real cost of borrowing here? Remember this identity here? This is the nominal rate of interest. We're holding that constant because we're going from this red dot to this blue dot. So we're holding price constant and we're holding interest rate constant. Okay? So when we expect inflation to decrease, if that decreases and this side has to equal this side and this side doesn't change, well then the real cost of borrowing rises, right? So the real cost of borrowing is going to rise. Okay, so if the real cost of borrowing rises, what are firms going to do if we hold this nominal rate of interest constant because we're holding the price constant? Well, the quantity of bonds that firms are going to float or auction or supply are going to decrease, and bond supply decreases. Okay, so this equation here, called the Fisher equation, the Fisher effect, is really important in helping us understand how this shift is inward. I'll go ahead and close this and then we'll just answer the questions. So the real cost of borrowing increases. The quantity of bonds supplied decreases. And bond supply decreases. And we enter borrowing. Maybe it's increase. Let's try rise. Rises? Okay, so it's rises. And then let's read this, make sure it sounds correct. This causes the quantity of bonds supplied to, decrease. And bond supplied to decrease. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, that works. Okay, good. Since you paid $911, the quantity supplied for the bond after the supply shifted, we calculate that over here, right? We already calculated that over there, so that's just right there. So it looks, Okay, we made a mistake, and I see where we made the mistake. It's right here. Let's copy this, paste it down here, then change it to blue. I made a horrible mistake here, and I'll show you what I did wrong. Okay, so on the blue curve, the intercept is 12. And then, so we're subtracting off 12. We're not adding on 12 like I had done before. This is what happens when you kind of skip ahead. So this should be $8.99, right? Well, let's do this. Let's just go ahead and copy that expression and paste it down here. And we get that for the quantity, right? 2 decimal places. Okay, there we go. Now I got it fixed. Okay, my mistake, my bad. That's a good lesson to maybe not skip steps and just do a step-by-step solution every time. Okay, what about in this scenario here? Higher government fiscal deficits do what? Well, if the government is running huge fiscal deficits, then it's got to increase the number of bonds it auctions. So it's going to increase the supply of bonds. It's going to flood the bond market with more bonds. And shifts the supply of bonds to the right. Yeah, that works. Okay, good. And here's our new equation and our new bond supply. So this was today's supply. This was tomorrow's supply in one period from today. This is 2 periods from today, and this is 3 periods from today. So let's go ahead and label this diagram. Choose green. So this is supply, not today, but in 3 periods, right? And we're still holding the price constant at 911, right? So just above the line. And we go straight down. And it looks like it's just above 1700, roughly. And then our previous quantity was right here at 911. The curve is labeled with, again, P on the y-axis and Q on the x-axis. I'm going to go ahead and, to prevent any more embarrassment, I'm just going to copy this down here, and then I'll change the color to green. And then this is our new supply curve, and we have a negative 42 there. So I'm going to change this 12 to negative 42. Okay. So then we have to add it to both sides, so this becomes plus 42. Okay. And then everywhere we see that minus 12, we're going to put in plus 42. And we had a quantity of 1798. So this down here becomes 1798. And the other one was 1696. Okay, so when the supply curve, and then this was not today, but in 2 periods from today. So when the supply curve shifts from the blue line to the green line, we call that an increase in supply. If we hold prices constant at 911, then the quantity of supply is going to increase from 1696 to 1798. And then I'll go ahead and close this out, and we'll type in the value of the new bonds, the quantity of bonds, and then we should have everything correct. Yep. So that's question 2 of homework 3B.